Hey guys, thank you for watching the Slat Rock channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon to get notified every time we post a new video. And if you've already done so, just make sure that it's still active. Here's your news for August 22nd, 2019. We're starting with some news from the King of the Ring tournament, as though Samoa Joe qualified for the next round on this week's Raw, the win did not come easy. Tackling a very game Cesaro, Joe was barely able to qualify for the second round, but a botch from the company's graphics team said Joe had just qualified for the semifinals. Obviously this was wrong, but has made fans speculate that Joe will be winning his next match, which will be against either Drew McIntyre or Ricochet. In WWE's defense, this isn't the worst graphics error made this year, as during the recent NXT TakeOver Toronto event, several botches occurred with the names of superstars appearing. At one point, even Dean Ambrose's name appeared on the show, despite the Lunatic Fringe being gone from the company for months, now working in AEW as Jon Moxley. According to Dave Meltzer, these production mistakes stem from a very tired crew, so hopefully the team will be able to get some sleep before the next edition of Monday Night Raw. On to SmackDown Live now, and though there were no graphic errors to speak of, the show ended in a very awkward way. In the climax of the night, Daniel Bryan revealed Roman Reigns' attacker to be a total stranger who just happened to look like Eric Rowan, and though the show faded to black, it kept going for the live crowd. After 205 Live finished taping, fans in Sioux Falls got a dark match main event, with the New Day's Kofi Kingston and Big E teaming with Roman Reigns to take on The Revival and Randy Orton. As the former Raw Tag Team Champions were making their way to the ring, one fan showed he didn't approve of the pair injuring Xavier Woods on Raw, spitting on the duo during their entrance. Though heels are meant to be booed, spitting is frankly disgusting, and the fan was kicked out of the arena for their actions. Speaking of Xavier Woods, the WWE has given an update on his condition following the attack on Raw, and it certainly doesn't bode well for the New Day. In a statement that practically confirmed the injury wasn't real, the company said that Woods wouldn't be able to compete but could still fulfill media obligations and continue to host his Up Up Down Down gaming channel. This is certainly bad news for Kofi, who may have to pull double duty at Clash of Champions, defending both the WWE title and the SmackDown tag titles with Big E if Woods can't compete. With the possibility of 2 matches to deal with on September 15th, it's possible that Kofi could lose one, if not both of his belts on September 15th in Charlotte, North Carolina. Sticking with SmackDown, and this week's show averaged 2.14 million viewers, down slightly from last week's 2.16 million. That's partly because last week's show was coming off the heels of an incredibly explosive SummerSlam pay-per-view, so it's only natural the ratings would fall the next week. For comparison, the same show last year did 2.35 million, though this week's edition of the Blue Brand finished 5th for the night on cable, higher than it usually finishes. Once again, SmackDown topped the 18 to 49 demographic with a .68 rating, over 40% over The Real Housewives of the OC, which finished second. The only things that were able to topple SmackDown in this demo came from network TV, as only The Bachelorette and America's Got Talent were able to get more viewers for this age range. This week's show was also able to retain 84.5% of the fans from Raw, the highest retention level since the July 16th edition of SmackDown Live. Miz and Mrs., which immediately followed SmackDown on the USA Network, dipped to below 1 million viewers this week, being watched in 997,000 homes, though that's still the 3rd highest total for this latest season. We're looking at football now, as WWE's owner Vince McMahon is set to launch his new league, the XFL, in 2020. A relaunch of the failed season, McMahon is no doubt hoping that this new XFL will be a success, and the league announced its 8 teams earlier this week. Fans can prepare to see the Seattle Dragons, the Houston Roughnecks, the St. Louis Battlehawks, the Dallas Renegades, the LA Wildcats, the DC Defenders, the New York Guardians, and the Tampa Bay Vipers face off, though we don't think that last team will be hitting RKOs out of nowhere. As well as team names, official logos have been revealed for the 8 teams, as the new league is set to kick off next year, though there's plenty to get excited for between now and then. In October, the league will host its official draft, while training camps will begin in November. Time will tell whether the new league is a success, though one thing we know for sure is that Vince McMahon isn't playing around. According to a report this week, McMahon wasn't present at Raw because of meetings, which according to a new piece by Brad Shepard, had to do with the new league. He said, "I reported on Monday that Vince McMahon wasn't at Raw because he was in an all-day meeting on Monday and had one Tuesday as well. According to a source in WWE, I am told Vince McMahon told his XFL circle that he'll step away from WWE for a very short period of time, depending on how the Fox and NXT moves go." Shepard has also said that the XFL has plans to invite Stone Cold Steve Austin to the first Dallas Renegades game, which could bring a lot of buzz to the Texas team. With that said, McMahon should be careful, as one of the major issues fans had with the previous XFL is that it seemed too much like pro wrestling, so maybe having the former WWE champion present isn't the best idea. We are looking at NXT now, and this week's show saw an all-out war between Matt Riddle and Killian Dane. In the main event of the show, the two heavy hitters fought each other with hard-hitting strikes, though continued to brawl after the show ended. It would take a ladder, a senton, and some medical attention to finally pull these superstars apart, but it's clear things between the Belfast star and the King of Bros are far from over. Speaking of NXT, one alumni from the developmental brand who has done well is Elias, who has now been 24/7 champion for a total of 9 days, one of the longest reigns ever. Defeating R-Truth for the gold over a week ago, Elias hasn't exactly hidden from the spotlight, instead taking to social media to brag about the gold. This week, the singer-songwriter took to Instagram with a caption of the title at a casino, proving that he's certainly pleased to be champion. Since coming up to the main roster, the man formerly known as the Drifter has impressed many with his work, and though we don't know when this reign will end, it's clear that Elias is having fun along the way. One superstar who could take the gold from the Living Truth is The Miz, but that's only if the A-lister can pull himself away from his incredible new house. With his work as a WWE superstar as well as his time on Miz and Mrs., The Miz clearly has some serious cash, and this week bought a home in California for $6.4 million. The Thousand Oaks house is described as a plus-size manor house according to Variety and includes over 10,000 square feet of living space. Built in 2001, the house sits on 1.27 acres of land and is in a gated community, which should stop anyone from bothering The Miz, Maurice, or any of their family. With NBA star Anthony Davis soon to become The Miz's neighbor, it's clear the former WWE champion is doing well for himself and has come a long way from Tough Enough. We are looking at some Rusev news now, as the Bulgarian Brute continues to be talked about despite his absence from WWE. This week, Rusev showed he was still having fun away from the ring, as though we previously showed Rusev rocking a mustache, the former champion has changed his look once again. On Instagram, Rusev showed off a clean-shaven face, asking fans not to tell Sheamus he was naked in his gym, and though his body was clothed, his face was completely bare. By the time Rusev gets a call to come back, you never know how much his facial hair will have changed at that point. Back to SmackDown Live now, and this week saw Sami Zayn align himself with Shinsuke Nakamura, an act that has gotten many fans thinking of the pair's history. After all, it was Zayn who the King of Strong Style faced first in his WWE career when the Japanese star joined the company at NXT TakeOver Dallas, though it's unclear what exactly the company has planned for the two superstars. With Clash of Champions less than a month away, the company will need to find an opponent for the Intercontinental Champion soon, though any potential challenger would probably have to deal with Zayn's interference out of the ring. We don't know what WWE has planned for the pair, but for now, we're just grateful that both men are being given something, as Zayn has done very little this year, and despite being Intercontinental Champion, the same could be said for Shinsuke Nakamura. And finally today we're ending with an update on Ronda Rousey after the former Raw Women's Champion suffered a gruesome injury out of the ring. Rousey, who hasn't been seen since WrestleMania, suffered a hand injury while filming Fox's 911 show, and the Hot Rod has given an update on her condition. Rousey told fans at first she thought she'd lost her finger, and though the injury wasn't that severe, she did have broken bones, detached tendons, and a crushed nerve. After extensive surgery where bolts and screws were used to hold her damaged digit together, Rousey showed how tough she is, returning to the set the next day to finish filming, though a lot of her stunts were cut. The former UFC star has said that she already has 50% motion back in her hand, though has been ordered not to do any more stunts for fear of damaging the tendon. With her hand now in a cast, the hot rod will have to wait until September to get back to shooting, where she can be back to her badass self. In her update, Rousey also revealed that she doesn't like pain medication because it makes her sick, so she was actually awake during the surgery on minimal medication, proving just how tough the baddest woman on the planet really is. Well guys, that's our news for today. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you like this video, don't forget to check out our previous video, 10 huge, shocking WWE 2019 rumors you need to know about. Also check out our other high-rated videos by clicking at the upper right-hand corner or down in the description field. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and the bell icon so you don't miss a single new video. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and as always, thank you for watching.